Welcome to Stampede.
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 Stampede. Stampede your business. What is this? This is a business podcast.
This is a business podcast.
This is how to build a business podcast.
That's it. The how to build a business podcast.
By going through what we're going through building a business right now. We're building Stampede Digital Systems. We are building a digital company right now, and we're taking all of the things that we've been through in the last year and showing people, maybe how to cut some corners on starting a business.
That's right.
Is that right?
Save some time, understand where you're going, how to create $1 million business with just a pen and paper. And that's what we're doing. So we're taking you through this whole idea, this whole process of how we're creating $1 million business with just a pen and paper. And you get to have a front row seat.
Yes. And in this episode, we start with why. Absolutely. This is the first episode, the first official episode of Stampede Your Business. And I know it may sound cliche. We hear it a lot. We talk about Simon Sinek. You start with why, but there is a reason it's such a big deal.
Oh, it's powerful. It's
because it is the reason people quit or keep going. When they don't understand their why, they will quit when it gets hard. If the money isn't coming, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is stupid. I'm going to quit. Well, you don't know your why. If you quit, like the people that go and go and go and become hugely successful, it's because they understood their why.
That's right. And it's not just about going and going and going because you understand your why. It's about learning and growing because you know your why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you don't become hugely successful just out of sheer determination. You've got to actually learn and grow and build it. And
I love it. So we're going to talk about how Stampede found its why. Stampede Digital Systems found its why, starting with you, Brett. Brett Rich in the house. You were sitting, we were talking, I kind of was mentoring you, and I threw a bunch of books at you. I said, dude, are you up for some knowledge? Are you up for some learning? And Brett goes, give it to me.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah. So what was that process like? And then we'll talk about why, because that's the beginning of what you came up with.
Yeah. Well, that process was, oh my gosh, it was just so enlightening. So before you and I started working together, I had very little experience managing a business. And I'd started a few kind of on my own, working a little bit here and there.
Trial and error. Made some mistakes.
That's right. Which is exactly how I found you in the first place. Don't wait until you know what you're doing. Don't wait.
Just go for it.
Because you find the people, you find the resources, yes. and you learn. So I finally, when I hooked up with you, you got me involved in Entrepreneur Launchpad, which was a great program. If you've got that in your area, please just check in with that at least once.
Any entrepreneur program, you should.
Really.
There are tons out there. There are great opportunities. You should be connecting with anybody that's entrepreneur minded or business minded, any of that stuff. Now, we're not talking about networking meetings. We're talking about meetings where they talk about how to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
that's a totally different thing.
Become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, those are two totally different things. Go to your community college. They have stuff like that. Find out the meetings for entrepreneur connections.
That's right. So I started with that, and one of the first books that I got actually wasn't even from you.
Mm-hmm.
It was from a friend of yours that came and was shooting the breeze with us after the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about the E-Myth. I said, what's that? What's that book about? Tell me a little bit more. And so he told me a little bit about what this book is about, but it was very cryptic, and I'm just like, what is this? But he said this thing changed the way that I saw my business, and it changed everything. And I said, well, if something changed everything and this guy's already successful, I want in. So I went and got the book the next day.
It took me forever to read that book because I thought it was something about online book, like an ebook.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was an E-Myth. That's an online book. I don't want to read nothing about. I don't want to start no online business.
Right. Yeah.
Entrepreneur Myth.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like what it really is, but
exactly.
It's the Entrepreneur Myth, combining the E-Myth. and that is, The E-Myth, and that's by Michael Gerber.
And there's two actually, and you want the revised version.
That's right.
The revised version is the one that has stories in it and stuff. I have never read the original.
So easy
everybody
to follow,
says,
and it's powerful. You just feel the experience of the person that he's working through. So
yeah.
That's a powerful one. I got it on Audible. I love to listen to books on Audible. So that's part of my journey. I started doing an Audible thing, and I hit it at 2 times speed, sometimes up to 3 times speed.
3 times? There's no way you can comprehend something at 3 times.
Speed. It's like downloading information in my brain.
Gosh.
I love it. If you can handle it, if you dare handle it, you should try and get yourself up there. But that's not what this episode is about. So then
we're off on a tangent.
That's right. So then
Why?
Bobby gives me,
because we do.
We love tangents, and tangents are powerful. You guys don't leave out the tangents. They're powerful. So I started with E-Myth, and I said, "This is good stuff." And Bobby said, "No. That's good stuff. That's great, but I've got another book that's gonna blow. If you liked E-Myth, this is gonna knock your socks off." And he said, "You should read Built to Sell by John Warrillow." Built to Sell.
Built to Sell.
And I said, "Really?" So I read Built to Sell. I got it.
Those two should be read together. I mean, they
absolutely.
They connect to each other so well.
So here's what I love about E-Myth. E-Myth is all about creating systems and making them work, but not just the nuts and bolts of creating systems, but it's all about why the system is in place and what it's about,
how it works,
and what are you in business for. So we talk about why are you in business? It hits that so hard, and then it moves into the systems with that why. And it's such a powerful and beautiful book. I love the E-Myth. And then Built to Sell kind of goes through this journey. It's a story of a man that's already has a business, and he is kind of done. He's exhausted. He's fed up. It's not what he thought it was going to be. He had his moments of glory, and now he's just done. And so
I got to sell this. I want to sell this thing.
He's like, I got to sell this thing and get out. That's right. It was all about getting out at first.
But the funny thing is, when he found somebody to say, "Hey, how much money can I get for this?" He's like, "I'm sorry, dude. Your company is worthless.
Completely
worthless. It is not sellable at all."
And if you've already got a business and you haven't built it to sell, you look at your business and you just be like, "Holy cow, my business is worthless too."
And it's much bigger. People may be out there going, "Oh no, I don't want to build my business to sell it. That's ridiculous. That's sad." In this world, this business world, I mean, it is a big thing. You know, we all should have an exit strategy, but it's not just about building a company. Building a company worth buying is also what the book should be called.
That's powerful.
Building a company worth buying.
A company worth buying is one that you want to own.
Exactly.
That you want to own and run.
Exactly.
And just getting back to the exit strategy for just a moment, think about if you are your business and you don't have an exit strategy, something happens to you. What happens to your loved ones when they are relying on that income? If your business is in a place where you can actually sell it, or where they can sell it after your demise, then...
And your business isn't just you, is what you're saying. If your business is just you, then you could be putting your family in harm's way.
Absolutely.
If you leave this earth.
I would never want to do that to my family.
Absolutely.
And so I would absolutely always start with the intent to sell. Even if I want to run my business for 1 million years, I always start with the intent to sell. And that's how you should do it.
Building it being worth buying.
If you want $1 million business, it's not $1 million business if it's not sellable. So
you may make a lot of revenue, but if you don't have these pieces in place that we're going to talk about, it is not worth buying.
And you can value your own business
however you want. Everybody's creative that way, but that doesn't mean anybody will pay anything for it.
That's exactly right.
And that's what we're going to go over.
So then the third and final book that Bobby had thrown at me was Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. Now his name is kind of hard to say. I'm sure I butchered it. But it's Mike Michalowicz.
That's better than I would have said it.
I am good with the names.
Mike M.
But he talks about how to organize the financial affairs of your business. And that is an amazing book. So I read these books, I devoured them, and then I turned around and I bought a physical copy, and I used that copy to create an outline for the books. And because I love them so much, I was able to merge them together into a single concept. And that's what we want to talk about with Stampede Your Business.
And you were so excited, and you came to me and you said, Bobby, check this out. I created this I took everything that was super important, that was super cool out of this, man, and I saw this and went, holy crap, this is valuable. This is hugely valuable for somebody that wants to create a business.
This is going to change everything.
And we should be thinking about, you should be thinking about offering this format, because he got concepts out of all these books, but he put them into this one thing that I think could be very valuable for the listeners out there. So let's think about somehow getting this available to people somewhere.
Making the outline
sometime.
Available?
Yeah, somehow.
That's a great idea. And ultimately, eventually, I'm going to turn it into a book.
You're going to write your own book.
That's the whole point, is to get it into a book and
we're
share it with the world.
And we're testing Stampede to make sure that this crap really works.
That's right. So. Absolutely. So once we make the $1 million mark, I'm going to start working on the book. Actually writing it.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna. Yeah, then we'll know. Okay, this stuff really works. At least from our standpoint.
That's right.
So let's go into that first piece.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Let's talk about Stampede, digital systems, and the beginning. The beginning is starting with why, right?
Yeah. So first you got to create a business, and then to make a sellable business, you got to automate it. So there's two parts to this. We're going to talk about creating a business today, and in the section of creating a business, there are a bunch of pieces, and we're going to focus on the why. But the pieces are, I just want to hit those really quick. Why am I in business in the first place? Plan your business. Create a product worth selling. We've got the 10 rules for creating that product, your marketing process, and your organizational strategy. All of those
Powerful
pieces
stuff.
are necessary. You don't have a business if you don't have all those pieces.
Things, yes. And today we're going to talk about the first one.
Why am I in business in the first place?
Why are we in business in the first place?
Why are you in business?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Well, why are we in business? First, it is self-evident that businesses, like people, are supposed to grow. And with growth comes change. So what did that look like with Stampede? So I've seen this a lot in the entrepreneur space, been a part of a lot of startups, and I see people that hold on to their concept, to their business concept, like it's their baby, and nobody's going to touch it. Nobody's going to look at it. Nobody's going to give me any advice about it. Or
they ask for advice, and then they're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like your advice.
Oh my gosh. We've had it where we've had people stand up in front of the entrepreneur groups and, pitch their idea, and then everybody's given them their 2 cents, and the person is not listening at all. They're in pissed off mode. They're in defense mode.
How
and it's
dare
like,
you talk
dude,
about my baby like that?
This is gold if you will just listen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those folks never go anywhere. I would say pretty much 100% of the time, those ideas die because they are not open to changing, to seeing how to tweak that business. We call it pivot.
Yeah.
How to pivot to the next piece that works. And the greats do that.
Absolutely.
Steve Jobs knew how to do it. Bill Gates knew how to. The greats know how to pivot.
We talk about, we use our ideas, we use that idea concept of your idea being a baby. Mm-hmm. But you think about anyone listening that's ever been a parent. If you've been a parent, are you watching your baby all the time? Can you possibly manage your baby all the time? And what happens with your baby? It gets bigger. It grows. It starts thinking for itself.
And it needs less attention. It needs less attention.
It needs less attention.
That's interesting.
And it also takes a community to raise a child. You send your child to school. You don't teach it everything it's going to know. It actually learns stuff that you never even knew. Or it starts coming up with ideas that are contrary to what you thought that it should think.
Mm. And you're saying that your business is going to grow up to be a teenager and start yelling at you and telling you it hates you.
If it doesn't, then you're doing something wrong. If it doesn't, you're doing something wrong. So
Right.
I love this concept that I came up with when I was in the innovator space, working for a big corporation, and we're doing a lot of innovation. We're teaching innovation, and I realized it just kind of hit me one day. You can't win the Kentucky Derby without a little bit of friction. Friction is required to win a race.
Chafing. Oh, you mean a different friction?
No, I'm talking about the wheels, the rubber hitting the road, man.
Got it.
If there is no friction, you're just going to spin your wheels and go nowhere.
Right. So let's talk about this with Stampede. Stampede
so how
Digital
did that happen?
Systems.
What did that look
So
like?
did we go through this piece? So,
We're still going through this piece.
Oh, absolutely.
We're always going through this piece.
Absolutely. You should be, as a business, you should be open to change and direction and defining your business in a different way, or whatever that looks like. In the beginning, I had found these tools, these Builderall tools, and I got excited about creating something, and I just started mentioning it in some of my entrepreneur groups, and some other entrepreneurs say, "Hey, that's cool," and so without really doing much, all of a sudden I had a little mastermind group, and we were sitting around talking about what we would do, how we're going to use the tools. And stuff like that. And that's how it started. That's how the business started, is just a bunch of entrepreneur-minded folks sitting together talking about, hey, these are cool tools. Let's see how we use them together, and if we can use them, or if we can find out how other people are using them. That's how it started out.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
It quickly evolved, didn't it?
It did. How? I just don't want to talk too much, man. So I was gonna.
I do plenty of talking, Bobby. No, so it all of a sudden we started saying, "Hey, let's make a business out of this.
This could be a business.
We can actually make some money."
Because in my thought process, when we were there, it's like, these tools are cool, but I'm a business owner. I don't really want to do the tools. I want somebody else to do the tools.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And boom, we are like, you know what? We could be the person that does the tools.
For everyone else.
We were like, wait a minute. All of us, we had different mindsets, different things. Some of us had businesses going already. One of us had a whole team in India that was already doing stuff. We had all of these different companies and these different things that we were like, dude, we could do this side thing and build something really cool, really easy, because it's half of it's in our wheelhouse already.
Yeah.
We're business. We're not marketers. We're business owners. But why did we do that?
Because we get excited about the value that we provide to other people.
That was the big thing for me, because I had been ripped off by marketing companies. I had spent thousands of dollars on marketing, got zero back for that marketing stuff. And I'm like, you know what? We have an opportunity to do something that really works for people here, because we know what works and what doesn't work. We're not just some marketing company trying to figure things out. We're businesses that have lost and made money.
Yep.
And I got really excited. My why was, hey, we can really do something for small businesses. We really could assist small businesses.
Yeah. And I remember one day I was doing some research on my own, and I ran into Russell Brunson, and I loved him. He's a genius, you guys. If you ever can see any of his stuff, read any of his stuff, it's worth it. You will learn, it's golden. But he created this company, and it's Clickfunnels. And so all of his stuff is around Clickfunnels. You can't read or see anything that doesn't turn back to Clickfunnels, because he's an excellent marketer. He's great at what he does. And after I got into his network, all of a sudden I saw him everywhere, everywhere. And to the point where he made me mad. Yeah. I was mad at him because ClickFunnels is so expensive. And I'm talking to Bobby and working with this thing called Builderall and learning about that and thinking, man, this has all the power. It's got all the tools. It's got everything.
More than ClickFunnels.
Than what ClickFunnels is offering. And it's not expensive. It's cheap. It's like Walmart cheap, but it's amazing. And I showed up to the office one day and I said, Bobby, I want to take ClickFunnels down.
Oh my Gosh, are we going live with that?
Absolutely.
Because
here's
you
the
and me
reason.
bover have mutual respect for Russell Brunson.
I
We
love
have a
Russell
lot of
Brunson.
respect for Russell Brunson.
It's not really about taking ClickFunnels down, Bobby. No, it's never really been about that. It's really about seeing the value that we can provide without the exuberant cost.
Yeah.
It's about bringing the value of ClickFunnels and then some to the regular entrepreneur, the person that's just starting out, the person that doesn't have that huge bank roll that they can dip into.
And they could have somebody else do it for them at even a so the price of ClickFunnels, we could do that for you with Builderall.
Yep.
I mean, the thought process is, how can we, keep the price point at what people can pay, and then take away the headache of them doing it?
Yep. Exactly.
That was the whole We're like, oh my gosh, I know when I was a beginning business owner, you have to do it all. When you're the solopreneur, you've got to do everything. And man, sometimes you're just like, gosh, I just don't want to spend the time to learn how to do this thing. This is not my business. I don't want to have to do that.
It's painful.
It's huge. And there's a giant opportunity there to really assist business. And I think we really found our why. For a year, we kind of tried to figure out, what do we want? Affiliates? Are we going to try and create affiliates? What? And there's all those 20-year-olds out there just killing it with affiliate marketing. And that's great. We just had a bigger vision than that.
Oh, yeah.
And said, we want to create something real, a real company that uses those tools, whatever tools it takes, Builderall and anything else that we use, and create something for the small business owner.
That's right. And affiliates is part of our marketing strategy going forward. We're not even there yet, but we've already planned that far ahead.
Yeah.
That we know we're going to have some affiliates. But we went through some more headache. We tried to name this thing.
Oh, geez.
And we thought we would try something that we already had.
I wanted
in
something
our pockets,
fun,
right?
Well, I wanted something fun, and I thought, marketing company. I want this marketing company to be.
We thought we were
fun.
a marketing company.
Well, yeah. I'm like this. I've always, I've done so many entrepreneur things, but I've never done marketing, like a marketing company. And I'm like, you know what? This should be fun. This should be engaging. This should be exciting. And I was just somehow, what's his name?
Austin Powers.
Yeah, Austin Powers came into my head, and I came up with Shagalag, and I looked up, and there was shagalag.com was available, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the coolest marketing company name on the planet. Shagalag Marketing. Pow! I was really excited about it. Went and bought the domain, and then brought it to my podness. And what happened?
There was some friction with that. There was some friction with that.
What are you talking about? This is the coolest name ever. Shagalag.com.
Sounds like
and then everybody's going, guys,
like
I searched.
stand,
I searched that dude, and it's all porn. I'm like, what do you mean it's all porn? It's not all porn. Of course, I had Google Safe Search on, so I put in Shagalag, and I'm like, there's no porn here. It's talking about some band or something. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they showed me some searches, and I'm like, oh. And then they showed me definitions. There's definitions of Shagalag, and I guess
already existing.
I guess
you didn't create that word.
It's not the best.
No,
the definition.
And so to our wives' piece.
Oh yeah, some of the wives also said, "Are you kidding me? Shagalag what?"
You're not getting involved in this Shagalag company, okay? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went. So we pivoted. So we did some changing, and that's how you do that.
That's where Stampede came from.
And it's great to have partners in that respect.
Oh, absolutely.
They're saying, hey, whoa. I heard something one time that Richard Branson said, I have made some bad idea things. He said, I've had some bad ideas, and I've had people good enough to tell me they were bad ideas. And he said, I came up with the virgin condom. And he said, and his people said, Richard, that's not good. That's not a good thing. And he listened, and there's not been a virgin condoms.
There
so.
you go. There you go. So
sometimes it pays to have people to listen to.
We all fall on bad ideas every once in a while.
Yeah.
So then we continued to grow and evolve. And one of the biggest things we had almost a shout out at one point between the partners.
Oh yeah.
And we were trying to decide on what our product was and what we were really doing. And the funny thing is it turned out to be more of a communication error than actually a vision error.
Yeah, I think everybody had the same vision. They just were saying it differently.
Yeah, it was similar enough that it was good. But
no, I'm going to do it this way. It needs to be this way.
We're
like,
focusing
wait a minute,
on the things that weren't the same.
Yeah, and that's a growth pain in business, and that's where companies fail. That's where companies lose partnerships. That's a part of it, and if you understand your why you're doing this, and I think it did come down to we all understood what our why was.
Why we were doing it.
Which is we want to really assist small business owners in getting real things that can sell their product or service.
Absolutely.
And we all said, okay, how do we do that? And this is how we're going to do it. And this is the pieces we're going to use. And it ended up, we got a much clearer picture of what what Stampede was.
Stampede. Yep, that's right. So we talked about having your own ideas. And sometimes as a business owner, you create your business based off of what you want rather than what the business needs. And that can be a hard learning curve. That can just be a really hard learning curve, especially if you're in love with your idea.
Yeah, and you think that your thought, and I think that's what happened to us. We all had a vision of what we wanted, and it's kind of like marriage. You kind of got to do some give and take, and in business, with partners or with even employees, you really have to be able to. You can't be the thumb on everybody that this is the way it's going to be or nothing. You won't create anything great. You may create something but you won't create something as good as it could be if you get your ego out of the way. You
Egos
might actually
so bad for business.
Yeah. It's a thing. When you build your baby, it's hard.
And you also have to be so confident and sell it and love it enough to really convince people.
Yeah.
And there's a balance. There's
a fine line. There is such a fine line between, I'm not going to give up. But unfortunately, this is the stupidest idea ever this is pure genius. I look at Elon Musk. He came out with the electric car with Tesla, and everybody thought he was a lunatic. This is stupid. You're an idiot. Why would you start? People have tried electric cars. They fail. Now he's a genius.
Up a dead tree.
Now he's a genius. Now he's a genius. He almost went completely belly up, bankrupt that Christmas Eve. He was out of money, and he at the very last minute before they went bankrupt, he got a fusion of some money, and the rest is history. Tesla is, banging now. It's banging now. He's a genius now. He was a complete idiot then. So there's a fine line because there's plenty of complete idiots that did fail. Yep. And they've been considered, you were stupid. That was a dumb idea. That was a dumb business. So that's a hard one.
Yeah, it is.
That's a hard one.
So you got to think about why you're in business in the first place. I mean, really, why are you in business? The purpose of going into business, very few entrepreneurs go into business because they just need money.
It's because they want to work 80 hours a week for themselves instead of 40 for somebody else.
That's right. I mean, really, that's why we do it, right?
Yeah.
No, we go into business because we're already working for somebody else and we want to be free. We want
to make the decisions.
Free to make the decisions. We want our business to make us money so that we can be free to go on vacation whenever we want.
Yeah.
We want to make more money to create that freedom for ourselves. We want to expand beyond our existing horizons.
That piece, the expand beyond your existing horizons.
I love that one.
The beauty of owning a business is you can fail. I was in the corporate world too for quite a while, and I saw so many layoffs and so much, people losing their jobs. But I saw amazing people lose their jobs that were powerful people, but because 15% of the company needed to be cut, they just cut people, right? And since I've been an entrepreneur and a business owner, yeah, I can still fail. But if I fail, it's 100% up to me if I fail or not. And it's on me. Do you know what I mean?
You have to learn
and the
from it, or
sky
else
is
you're
the
dead.
limit. There is no limit, actually. I can go as far as I possibly can. And in a job, you're stuck. You can only
There's
go to a
always
certain
corporate
point.
ceiling.
Yeah. But in a business, in an ownership, the sky is the limit. Well, it's past the sky. You have the power to fail or succeed, and it's beautiful if you're into that thing.
As long
Not
as,
everybody is
as
that
long
kind
as
of
you're willing
mindset.
to expand and
Yeah.
yourself, and those two things, being free and self growth, self development, those are two of the most powerful and best reasons to be in business. But both of those require you to understand beyond your business, because at some point when you grow into your business, all of a sudden, if you haven't built your business right, your business owns you, and
You are your business.
and you become trapped inside this bubble of your business. And if you want to get out, if you want to get free of that, you have to do things differently.
I would say in viewing people creating businesses, 75% of the people out there that create a business do that incorrectly. They make the business around themselves.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that business has no value outside of them. And this is really important. People listening, you should really understand when you build your business, when you start building your business, you have to look at it as a separate entity from you. If you're
Completely
doing
separate.
all the work, if you're doing everything, if everything comes back to you, even if you have employees and they all come back to
If
you
you're
for everything,
the final decision maker on everything.
that business is not worth anything.
Nope.
Because without you, it doesn't exist. So you can't sell yourself. I mean, you could, but that would be slavery and that would be weird. So that's a very important piece that you just pulled out.
Absolutely. So when you're starting your business, at the very beginning, when you're figuring out your why, when you're figuring out why you're in business in the first place, and if you've already started a business, you need to go back and take a look at that again and imagine your business without you. Just imagine it without you. How is it going to be run? Who's running it? And how are those people going to be put in that position? How are you going to create that possibility for your business?
And
to
how
live
do
without
they
you?
understand the
Move on.
why of the business?
Oh,
They
yeah.
have to, the business has to understand why it's in business.
That's right.
So it can be worth something.
You can't give someone power and say, okay, make decisions if they don't know
the
why
why.
you're in business.
Absolutely.
They're going to make all the wrong decisions. And if they make the right decisions, it's because they got lucky.
Yeah. And having plaques on the wall, that's mission statements and all that stuff, that's great unless it doesn't mean anything, unless it doesn't understand its why. The business has to know its why.
Yeah. A mission statement is only as good as the intent behind it.
Yeah, I used to work for a company where they would give you $50 if you could recite the mission statement.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it would just random. The executives would come out. It was a manufacturing company, so be on the floor or something, and just be like, "Can you do the mission statement?" I never got the chance, and I never memorized it either.
So you never got a chance to embarrass yourself?
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
okay.
Thank
Well,
goodness.
that's good.
So I always thought it was kind of sad, though. I don't know why. I would think that would be a cool thing, but for some reason, we all thought it was a joke, and that was weird to me. Why is it a joke? And I think the standards at that company and stuff just didn't feel employee loving, if that makes sense.
Well, and there's lots of pieces to that. I mean, there's the I've got my mission statement, but I don't live by it. And there's also I've got my mission statement and I live by it, but I don't give you any reason to live by it because all of my metrics, all of your metrics that you get paid off of have nothing to do with this mission statement.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's so painful
Yeah.
to be in a business that working for a business that does that.
This is important stuff, especially in the beginning. I mean, in the beginning is where the foundation gets laid. You start
I see it like
with
a
the why.
train. It's like a train, right? When you're just a locomotive, when you're just the engine, you can pivot really easily. I mean, okay, so train tracks, that's a bad example. But how it connects to a train is the bigger your business gets, the longer
harder it is to stop,
turn, and the harder it is to stop and pivot and change.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
So you want to make sure that you're on the right trajectory from the beginning.
Absolutely. That will help. And think of and have vision that you're going to grow the crap out of this thing, that you're going to build it to something big, giant. Why not? I mean, if you're going to dream about something, why not think about it big? With that said, I'd like to ask one last question about why. So when you're thinking about why in your business, this comes back to kind of you. How much money will I need to do the things I wish to do? By when will I need it? So why would I ask that question? This is our last question.
How much money will I need to do the things I wish to do? You're in business for a reason.
And if you're not making money, you don't have a business.
No,
you just don't.
It's true. It's a hobby.
Yep.
If you're not making money.
Yep.
And we've created businesses that have looked more like hobbies. And sometimes
My
you're
wife
just trying
will
to
tell
figure
you.
out how to turn that hobby into a business still. And some people do and some people don't. But why is that important? Because here's the thing. If you create this business right, it has the potential to grow beyond you. And so at what point do you say, I have enough. I've done enough. I can hand this off. And there's ways you can do that. You can hand off, do partnerships and hand off part ownership to other people who also love and know your business. You can actually sell your business. There's lots of ways you can do that. But at some point you say, this is all that I am willing to do because I have other pursuits, other interests, other things in my life that I want to focus on.
I'm a creator. I've got new things
I've got to
create
more things. Yeah.
You'll see that in all the greats. They have other companies like Elon Musk and SpaceX. I mean, it's. And
so at what point do you say, I've done enough? I have enough. I've got what I need. And money, okay, so money, it's part of business. It's a metric.
It's absolutely.
You don't have a business without money because it is a metric. It's the number one metric of business management. If you are not making money, you're not running a business, but that money also represents all the hard work that you're doing. It represents all the love that you have for your business. It represents all the love that you have for your customers. It represents all the love that you have for your employees.
And the why you're doing it.
And why you're doing it.
And why you're doing it is the result. If you've got a strong why, then that result will pay off.
That's right.
Right? Awesome, man. Whoa, this was a good first episode. I think we realized that the why is important. Any last words?
Yep, very important. Just start it out right. Start your business right. If you've already started a business, take a step back and make sure you're doing it right. And that's what we're here for. That's what Stampede Your Business is all about. We are here to give you that guide, that step-by-step process of starting it out right.
As we go through the process ourselves.
And we're showing you through our experience. That's right. Absolutely. You get that front row seat.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Next time, yo.
Stampede your business.
Stampede.
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 Stampede. Stampede your business.